City of Sydney's council meeting, Tuesday, September 9th. I will call the meeting to order. Join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome to the Open Meetings Act can be found by the west wall. Are there any comments by the public? Approval of the minutes, August 21st, 2025 budget workshop.
All motion. Yep, all motion.
Motion by Brett,
Second.
second by Coons.
Kirkman,
Yes.
Coons,
Yes.
Sondergaard,
Yes.
Radcliffe,
Yes.
Lee.
Yes.
Motion for the August 26 minutes.
All motion.
Lee,
I'll second.
Radcliffe.
Coons,
Yes.
Sondergaard,
Yes.
Radcliffe,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Kirkman.
Abstain.
Requesting a change to current city ordinance regarding fowl to be allowed inside city limits. Megan DiNardo.
Good evening, Council. So I'm approaching you guys this evening because a little bit personal about us. My husband and I are currently moving back into city limits. We've lived in our country home for a little while now, and that's one thing that we've loved is being able to have our chickens out in the country. But that was something I noticed moving back into city limits, that we would not be allowed to keep them. And so tonight I was approaching the council to talk about changing the ordinances that would allow that within our community. There's a lot of benefits to having backyard chickens, and that this is not actually something that is just being seen here within Sydney, but a lot of other cities, areas have been adding chickens within their jurisdictions. Even cities within Nebraska, such as Lincoln, Omaha, Kearney, Grand Island, all have now changed their ordinances to allow having chickens in their backyards. A few things that are the benefits is, it does offer security for families within our areas, allowing us to have our own source of egg supply. Obviously, we all seen what happens when that egg supply gets diminished, especially this spring when we saw the price of eggs jump to $8-9 a dozen. Another thing is I have 3 very young kids. They love to get to take care of the chickens. I use it as an educational option for my kids. They go out there, they help me take care of the eggs, they collect the eggs, they get to help feed the chickens, and it's a great beneficial thing for my family. But hens also have a great benefit within for the environment. It helps reduce waste. There's all these studies that now that all these cities are allowing this, they're seeing that there's a huge amount of reduce of organic waste even within the city landfills. So those are some benefits. Obviously, I know with that there's also common concerns that come up with chickens. A lot of people are concerned. A few pointers would be noise, cleanliness, even public health. So I'm approaching the council about this topic to see if we can find a healthy, well-balanced ordinances that we can implement within our limits that, for instance, restricting the numbers of hens, making it that roosters are not allowed for noise, proper housing and storage so that we don't have predator problems, and then, certain boundaries that would be set in place to help keep and maintain the chickens in a proper, safe environment within limits. So that is why I'm approaching the council tonight. Is there any questions?
How many chickens are you thinking?
I propose 10. I have looked at a lot of other municipals who have chickens, like Columbus, Nebraska allows 15. Denver, even I came across, allows 8. So I propose 10 just because, have any of you ever had chickens before? No?
Yes.
So one thing I've learned about chickens, you may have 10 chickens, but you may only get 2 eggs a day. Depending the breed, they don't always lay every day. So I say 10 because if you have a family of 4 or 5 people, that could get you anywhere from 6 to 8 eggs a day.
Okay, can I
No.
go?
Yeah, go ahead.
You want to go? Okay,
Go
can
ahead.
I go? Okay. So yeah, I lived in Colorado Springs for 6 years. They had chickens allowed. I don't think there was hardly any restrictions in terms of chickens. Let me put it this way: if this ordinance changed, I would probably end up having chickens in my yard. Okay, I'm going to be honest. So I got to look at this from like a very objective view. And there's two things that I saw a problem with in Colorado Springs. So the first one was just basic, like, size, right? So there would literally be homes with almost no backyards that are right next to each other, right? And you would see this giant chicken coop right there. You could see it from this neighbor's into the back. You could see the chickens right there. And then it gets kind of nauseating. I think, like, the proper etiquette would be like, hey, I'm going to go talk to my neighbors and see if this is okay with them so I can get the clearance on this. Well, if there's an ordinance, obviously they're just like, well, it's an ordinance, so I'll just do whatever I want, right? So I think there's that issue, and I think the main
I
thing.
have an answer for you there.
What's that?
So I have an answer there for you.
Yeah, okay.
So I've been reading a lot of chicken laws.
Yeah,
through this.
cool.
So you're not the only one to address that problem within
Yeah.
city limits. So something I came across was that chickens need to have certain confinements. Obviously, you want a healthy environment for your chickens. So they say on average you need 2 to 3 square feet for a chicken in the coop, and then about 10 square feet for a chicken out of the coop, for them to roam around and do their thing. So, because you don't want to shove 10 chickens in a doghouse. That's just
Sure.
unrealistic and unhealthy for the animal. I propose that whoever has chickens, they have to have a minimum of 2 square feet per chicken.
Okay.
And then the pen size, they have to keep it within 5 feet of any of their property lines and 18 inches from the back property line. And then you also can put ordinances in there, like it has to be so far from someone's door, so that you're not annoying your neighbors with having a stinky coop right outside their bedroom window. So it has to be, I've seen anywhere from 20 to 40 feet of space from a chicken to a neighboring structure.
I've seen city ordinances where they make, like, if you wanted chickens, had you go around and get all your neighbors' permission, like sign a deal.
And that could be a way to do it, or some of them I've seen say that you have permits. So it would take due diligence on the person wanting chickens to, like, go measure and say, okay, this is how big my yard is, this is how big of a coop I can have, and bring that in with their permit, to help regulate. The city knows who has chickens, and then, then the city can approve the permit that they can move forward with their chickens.
Who's going
Because
to
they're,
be?
sorry.
No, you're fine. Go ahead. I was interrupting you.
So there is some properties, even though in city limits, that just won't be feasible to have chickens. There's some people who have 5 feet backyards. It's just not realistic. So honestly, those people just realistically won't be able to have them. So there is certain guidelines, but the guidelines I've been trying to look up, is to suit the majority.
So I think the second part of this is the actual code enforcement, right? I don't see that. I see that being problematic. I just don't think we have the resources to properly do code enforcement, and that's the bad thing. And I don't want to rain on that, but I think that's reality right there.
And I agree with that, but
May I hop in on that?
Yes.
Okay,
Could you come forward?
absolutely. I don't want to steal your stockpile out here.
no, we're having a clucking good time up here.
That was almost as good as yours, Marshall.
So, basically, the code enforcement part of it that's going to be an issue for us is it's going to be an enforcement nightmare. Our code, we had the cities you named, and I came from a city that had chickens. My kids would love chickens. Everything else, I'm not against them, but it's going to be a lot of process to get this set up. As far as we have one code officer. That's all we're allotted in our salary right now is one code officer. Right now, she is currently doing everything from the grass to parking complaints to dogs to cats to raccoons to snakes and beehives and owls and anything else that comes across. Adding this onto her plate somebody's going to have to be out there measuring the 18 inches from the back fence. Somebody's going to be out there counting how many chickens people have. Somebody's going to have to be out there making sure that they're being taken care of in the winter with the appropriate heat. I get most individuals will want to follow the rules. They want to practice good husbandry with their chickens and have that experience for their kids as much as I've done with my kids. I get that 110%. Unfortunately, we also have to look at the ones that do not follow the rules 110%. How are we going to be able to enforce this? Which I'm going to be completely and bluntly honest, with one code officer, is just not going to be feasible. I mean, it's going to fall to the very bottom of our list. And what's going to happen when we get complaints that other animals or predators are coming into the neighborhood wanting to eat said chickens, or what are we going to do when somebody does have a rooster, but they don't want to hurt rooster because rooster is family pet? How is this all going to kind of play out? I'm not opposed to it, but I do believe we do have a lot of questions to make the code 100% right for the community, for the city, and ultimately for the animal itself, which we want to make sure they're being treated appropriately as well. With that being said, like I said, right now our codes are very, very limited. The cities that you named that allow it, they have the whole division of code officers. So Grand Island has 32 code officers. We have, well, nearly 30. Well, last time I checked, they had around 30 some officers, so don't quote me on the exact number. But they had a great number. They had a whole division of people to go do it. Lincoln has a whole division. The Springs probably had a whole division. Denver has a whole division. We have one. So that's something we may, if this passes or just looks at, I'm not opposed to getting more people to do the code enforcement job, but it's something we're going to have to address.
And is it something with the code enforcement, is it something, the cost of having one? Like, because that's something I've seen a lot of cities that are requiring anywhere from a $10 fee a year to a $25 fee a year, just to help alleviate that cost, to help keep it going for the people who actually are.
And I understand, and
Yeah,
ultimately,
so.
everything does come down to a cost, so
Yep.
it would cost a full-time employee, which would be their salary, their benefits, their insurance, that type of stuff as well. So, I mean, ultimately, it does come down to the individuals that are in the room. Like I said, I would love to have another FTE, a full-time employee. I mean, that's an easy sell for me, you got me. They're gonna be the harder ones to sell on that
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
So I'm not opposed to it, it's just gonna be a bigger object than just rewriting a code.
Yeah, so what if we, so again, I'm trying to meet you in the middle. I'm just being objective on the other side of it, because I understand that. But what if you just limited the number of permits? You just said you can, with the citywide, you can only have 12 permits, or 20 permits, or whatever that number is.
People who just don't get, they'll just go around it and not get permits, not ask for permission.
Do we have chickens already in town?
Yes.
Oh,
I've heard there's places
mean-
there, they are.
I thought you meant legally.
Legally, no.
No,
There's 3 zones.
But there's a couple
there's 3
running
zones
around.
in city limits that allow the agricultural, residential, and so it is all your super bright green, your kind of mid blue there, and so like up to the point where
So it'd be agricultural or residential zoned agricultural, so R/R1A or something.
So is that AR on the legend there? Is that what we're talking about?
AR, you've got R1A.
Those three, yes.
Okay,
So what he said.
okay, got it.
So those are the three that are allowed into
Okay.
the area.
So-
But I guess the problem I would have with that is how do we do this fairly? Is it gonna be a lottery? Is it gonna be first come, first serve? Is it?
I'd
say
say
how
first
much
come,
demand
first serve.
really is there for
Well, I
other
will say
people?
for the Sydney PD that we average about 20 to 30 every summer request of, can we have chickens?
Yeah.
So every summer, that's 20 to 30 families that would want chickens. So, and if we do it every year, we restart over a new bid, or is it those 12 people have it for?
Oh,
Yeah,
You couldn't do that, because what do you do with the chickens after you had them and you don't get your
Yeah, so
permit?
it's just like whoever comes in the door gets that
It's like
permit
saying
for as long as they have the
get rid of
chicken.
it
Yeah.
every other year.
Yeah, so I mean,
Yeah.
that's, I like the idea of trying to limit it, but how do we do that fair across the board?
I don't think you do. I think you just say, hey, we're gonna open this thing up and you better run in here and go see the Lori or somebody to get a permit here. And then you got it.
You like
Yeah,
volunteer
yeah. I mean, I'm just throwing ideas out there because I can see it. Like, again, I know there's probably a couple people up here that would love to have some chickens. So,
Well, and something I came across, because even Potter allows chickens, Kimball does as well. They do have pretty extensive ordinances, like, even if a chicken gets out, like, and a dog gets a chicken, it's like a toy to them. So if a dog gets a chicken, the dog is not prosecuted over it because, it's in a sense, a dog in their mind, it's a toy. And so like making sure like things like that are written in there, height, like you said, height of the structures can be put in the ordinances, the sizes,
Yeah.
the numbers.
well, I mean, it's one thing to have something written down, but then to actually follow through with like, a complaint.
And that's
Yeah.
where ultimately, because I had chickens, my family had chickens, it was cool
Yeah.
experience for them.
Yeah.
I just don't know how, standing up here as the chief of police and with code enforcement,
Yeah.
I'm sure you're nodding your head yes. I don't know how we're gonna be able to add that into
Right.
an already full plate of duties for her.
Right.
I mean, there's only so much hours in a day to get this done. That's where my concern primarily lies.
And a question too, I seen another city, they tried a trial period. Let's allow 25 people or so many permits to do a trial, and then they give them
I
so
don't
long.
know.
And if that gets out of hand,
I think once you open up the can, then you can't. Once you open up the lid, you can't really put it back on.
You have a bake sale?
It's already there.
Pot pies?
Yeah, exactly.
So, like I said, that's kind of from the law enforcement side, from the practical side.
Yeah, appreciate
that's
that.
where I am on the enforcement side.
Appreciate that.
Now, I do think there's, like I said, room to find a solution or find some in the middle, but
Yeah.
that's kinda where we're at.
So go ahead.
Just a quick, how many, do you think you would get a lot of calls from neighbors then saying
It's stinking.
that they're not following the code and
I do believe
if
I
she's
would-
too busy, then you're gonna hear you're not enforcing your own,
Exactly, so
like the parking thing?
I can guarantee you I'm gonna get a whole bunch of calls about either the smell, the flies, the noise, the chickens are too close, there's feathers on my side, or vice versa, from the chicken owners. Their cats are trying to get my chickens won't lay eggs because they're being stressed out. I'm gonna have both sides of the equation that are gonna come into
True.
play. I do get that there is chicken coops, but a lot of individuals are gonna wanna let their chickens wander around the yard. I've never been able to master training a chicken to keep it in your own property. So we're gonna have that going on as well.
Springs, they would fly over the fence.
and I did see that in one of the ordinances that said that you have to have it completely enclosed.
Yeah,
Like
so I mean-
the run has to be enclosed as well.
So, I mean, there's always things that like I said, I'm not in no way arguing with you at all. I'm
Yeah, and
presenting
you have valid
the
points.
facts as they would come to me across my desk, and I don't have the answers for that, and that would ultimately be up to you five gentlemen up there and how those answers would work. But that is my concerns from my point of view and from where I stand on it.
I'd like to say something. I just would like to recognize Sierra for a moment. She's our code enforcement officer, and she and I have been working very closely together since January. She works very hard. She's been keeping me extremely busy since January. I've been in the courtroom every week, at least, maybe twice a week. So I just, for my own personal, putting on another layer to go to court, it's going to be a lot in the legal department as well.
I like the idea of having, if I want a pet turtle or I want a pet, it's like, okay, fine, you can have, how many dogs can we have in town? 2 or 3? Three. If you want to have a pet chicken or a pet duck or whatever you want to have a pet of, that's fine, whatever. But it's that, like what you're saying is that you're asking for 10 or to make it feasible. I mean,
number
that's,
can be
to make a
negotiable.
feasible amount. To me, it'd be like, okay, you have 2 chickens. You're allowed 2 dogs, you're allowed 2 chickens. Something like that would be where I would think a fair.
And I did see some
So,
city ordinances that do that. They only allow 3 or 6,
And are we reselling the eggs and stuff like that, or is it just like for personal use?
So that is something too, I would suggest putting in the ordinances was saying, so that people don't start breeding chickens on their houses, that you can't sell them unless you're a commercial real estate place. So like you have to go to Farm Feed and Seed to get your chickens or Baumgars. Like we don't want people hatching eggs to sell them. So like putting a few ordinances like that in there and,
Birds and then, then
Yeah, then you always got new pets that way.
Yeah, exactly. They just go until they can't stand anymore, and then it's their time.
I know Sydney, back in the day, had allowed chickens. I don't know if we had an ordinance at that time or if it was just open.
I seen that it was like the 77 maybe that it changed. I might not be right on that. It might be, you might have a different number than me, but I was
Well,
trying to.
I know when it really got bad was late 80s, early 90s, because some people had geese. And they got out constantly and they were chasing people down the street. So,
And I do suggest restricting what kind of, like, you don't want crowing hens, just like roosters. And so when I say fowl, I would limit it to just, when you say poultry, chickens or ducks, not allowing geese
Turkeys?
or- That's up
Oh
to
my
you
gosh.
if you want to throw turkeys in there.
You see where this is going?
I mean, that's
Yeah.
where-
But like
You
limit
start-
it
I
down.
mean, if somebody like duck eggs or geese eggs or something like that are really popular and super nutrition, so it's like, okay, well now we have ducks, and fortunately with my wife being a teacher, she brings ducks home every single beginning of the year to help raise them, and those things are obnoxious. So it's, where do you stop? We open it up at 6, and then, well, I want 9. What's wrong with 9? And so then we have to, the cost of it, legal fees, and all that other stuff. I think it's a nightmare. I think, but
And is it
Not a bad deal.
something too to do more research with the other cities? Like,
Yeah.
most citizens will comply. It might be the few that won't.
right.
So is the benefits for most of the citizens gonna outweigh maybe the few bad eggs? That wasn't supposed to be.
Well, let me ask a
Sorry.
question. How many dogs and cat calls do you go on per month, Sarah?
It's a lot.
And those are relatively domesticated animals that we got to go on. Throwing in, what gender is this baby thing that we got from Baumgars? It's going to add a lot more to that. And I get what you're saying, that most people, and yes, I generally believe with you, 90% of people will follow the rules, but I have to still be prepared for the 10% that unfortunately doesn't. And that's ultimately why I have a job. I mean, if everybody followed the rules, I wouldn't need that.
So yeah, I mean, that's my 2 cents. I would just say like it needs to be extremely limited, and I would love to see a creative solution. That's just kind of where I'm at. But I don't think we're ready. And again, I don't want to speak on anybody's behalf, but I don't think we're ready to say one way or the other.
I'd like to hear
on
more,
it.
I mean, I'm glad you came to us. I'd like to hear more public
Yeah.
input, like
Yeah.
both sides of the
Yeah.
future council meeting or something. Is there
Yeah.
people who are absolutely against this, or more people in support of it, or whatever?
Yeah, exactly.
And with that, would you guys like a suggestion of a layout of guidelines maybe to follow?
I think that'd be
Be
great.
fine.
Yeah.
All right. We can do that. Thank you, guys.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So do we need to do a motion on that?
No.
No,
No,
Let it go.
let it go.
no action, okay.
No action.
Appointment of special prosecutor.
So that is, I asked for this to be on the agenda tonight. I'm requesting council to appoint a special prosecutor. I'll have the chief talk about this in just a minute, but we've had an uptick in cases that are involving sexual predators in our town. And already, there has also been a pattern of requesting defense counsel. And the first one that has came through, the person I'm just keeping things confidential for this conversation. It is public record, but there's no reason. They've already requested defense attorney, and the defense attorney has requested a jury trial. These are things that we just need to be successful on, and I am openly admitting that I am not an expert on trial litigation in this area, so I'm requesting that the council appoint a special prosecutor.
And may I hop in there too?
Yep.
So, I'm sure all of us have got media accounts and everything else. The Sydney Police Department, and this is, I guess, I'll take the ownership for it, has been extremely aggressive in pursuing a lot of the known issues. In the last month or so, we have arrested numerous individuals for violating the sexual registry protocols. As Kendra's saying, if we don't do this appropriately right the first time, everything that we have done and everything moving forward is going to be more of an uphill challenge. Is that a fair
That's a great statement.
I personally take it very seriously. My guys take it very seriously. I know Kendra takes it very seriously. So that's why we're asking and trying to do this, and I'm trying to back her play as far as we want to make sure we set the standard and we set the tempo moving forward. So that's all I got. Any questions?
The only question I have, wouldn't it be the county attorney?
So these are, unfortunately, the sexual registry is a city ordinance that they violate. The county does not enforce it. It's a
okay.
city issue.
Okay,
Okay, that makes sense.
yep.
So this is the where they can live type thing? Is that what-
Exactly. So by our ordinance, we have it to where they can't be within 500 feet of a school or operating daycare, to kind of summarize the ordinance. The reason we've been pushing so hard on it is there was a little bit of a weird, we obviously don't know where everybody lives until it becomes an issue. It became an issue, and then we started digging in, and now we're here. We think that we have numerous of them coming through, and we're still actively going through the list. So we want to make sure we're not doing this for really nothing. And like I said, if we don't set ourselves up for success to begin with, it's going to be a bumpy road going forward. Or we set ourselves up for success, and it's relatively streamlined after that. Fair.
That's exactly right. And the fact that they're already requesting the court-appointed counsels, and they're receiving it, and they're already requesting jury trials, I mean, apparently they think they have a leg to stand on, so we better come prepared.
Okay. So we just need a motion.
Motion
do you-
for special,
Who is it, gonna do we?
Travis Rodak.
Okay.
He's been helping out the county attorney's office with jury trials as well. He's over in Bridgeport,
Okay.
and he was the county attorney in Bridgeport before he went into private practice.
Okay. Well, I will motion to appoint a special prosecutor.
I'll second that.
Bonnegar,
yes.
Radcliffe,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Kirkman,
Yes.
Coons.
Yes.
Economic Development Cooperation Workshop dates.
Yeah, at the last council meeting, you guys had made the motion to temporarily suspend, I don't know if I'm gonna remember all the wording perfectly, temporarily suspend the employment search for an economic development director until after you could hold a economic development corporation workshop to see if that is something that you are interested in. And so I just threw some dates together here, that there isn't anything else going on in this room or on anybody's high-profile schedules. So I was just wanting to see what you guys thought, for if any of these options would work for all five or for the majority, or.
I kind of like the Monday, September 29th at 4 PM.
I'm good with that.
If you want me to be there, I cannot do, because I'm working with Wheat Belt on 29th and September 30th,
You probably should be there.
and I probably should be there. I can do the October 1st date, the October 2nd date, or the October 6th date.
October 6th at 4?
Is Mondays what people like? Is that?
Or
I'm good. I'm wide open in there. You do whatever you want.
City of Chapel.
Wednesdays and Thursdays would be all right too, I guess.
6 is fine by me, 4 o'clock.
October 6th at 4 isn't gonna work. That's the City of Chapel. How about noon on the 6th?
Noon on the 6th? Do you got
Try
your
to make
lunch?
that work.
I'll get out of it.
Oh, yeah, you do the Elks.
Jeremy, you good with noon or?
Sure, why not?
October 6th at noon?
Monday, October 6th, noon. Got it.
Would that work for everybody else on that side too, or?
Well, I'm gonna try to get whoever, like, we should probably have quite a few people there, maybe clearly some people from the E3, and then maybe at least one county commissioner. And I was thinking maybe a couple members of the Economic Development Advisory Committee, that might help, just bring everybody, right? But I don't know if this will work for all of them, but I'm sure that they can at least find some, those are large entities, so they can at least get some.
Well, do
people
we
that
want
they
to come
can
up with a second date just in case?
Probably should.
Sure.
Can you do any at like the 29th at noon?
We're doing full day session.
Okay,
On
okay,
that, I'm sorry.
Okay, no.
So what other days did you say you couldn't?
I can do October 1st, October 2nd, and then the noon time on October 6th.
I was reached out to on October 1st and said that wasn't going to work for some people.
October 1st at what time? 12?
No, they weren't able to.
That
make
would,
it on.
wouldn't work, he said, yeah.
Yeah.
So Thursday, noon or 4?
I might be driving to Omaha that afternoon, but I don't know for sure.
Are county commissioners done with their meetings by noon?
I think so.
How am I the
So I just thought that's the first Monday, probably, that's 6th.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
okay.
I don't know. Those dates are like perfect for me. I can work with any of those things.
So we're looking at October 6th at noon would be the best one. Or is it,
Or October 7th for the second date?
Next
Just
day.
have a backup date?
Sure.
Both days at noon, 6th and 7th at noon. 6th first,
Yeah, and 7th,
and then the 7th at noon being second if,
At noon or 4?
noon or 4?
yeah, I'm sorry, which one do you want?
4 would be better.
4?
4.
4 at noon
Or Tuesday at 4.
or Tuesday?
Okay, so it's Monday, October 6th at 12 noon, or Tuesday, October 7th at
4 p.m. Yep.
Good.
Got it. So I just wanted to have that before I started reaching out to people. Make sure.
Fiscal year 25, 26 budget and PowerPoint presentation. David Scott.
I was just gonna go over a few things and then go over the PowerPoint, so, but there was a couple things that we'd talked, or you guys had talked at length about in your budget workshops that I did want to mention. First of all, some of the legislative bills that affected this year's budget, like LB 179, increasing police officer retirement contribution from 7 to 9%, so that, of course, affected not only the officers, but also the city's contribution as well. And then LB 247, which would increase landfill disposal fees from $1.35 to $2.35 per cubic yard of uncompacted solid waste. I did speak with Dean, and I thought that he's had said this would probably come to somewhere around $35,000. I don't know if he's in the room. Somewhere around there is what we estimated
More of a cost or?
of more cost, yeah. There was LB, and then LB 34, which replaces the lid levy with what they call SLICE, state and local consumption expenditures. That's the word they use, is SLICE for that. It's a CPI is basically what they're going by now. And then the one that I think was positive was LB 613, that allows municipalities to ask for a list of all the companies that have requested economic development incentives. Those are when we get the deductions from our local option sales tax for state economic development programs. So that one was kind of a positive. Two, probably the biggest challenges we face right now is our health insurance costs. We haven't had the best year or two, so that's going up significantly. Autumn and I have worked very hard to try to keep that as down as much as we can with our broker, and I think we've done about as good as we can get. And then the local, mentioned the local option sales tax diverted to pay for state economic development incentive programs like Advantage Nebraska. Most of them are Advantage Nebraska that we're getting. Imagine Nebraska is fairly new, so we haven't gotten anything for that. These are from ones that are years back. And then just a few positives that we had. Our Safe Streets Action Plan is complete, and it's getting very good reviews by the federal officials that have looked at it, so that's positive going forward for the implementation phase. And then the grants that we have for our North Park, and Chase and I will be meeting with another group, I think, later this week that might want to jump in on that too and see if they want to donate some money to it, so that's a good thing. Our bond rating remained at A+. Next year, not this year, but this budget that you're approving now will be the last bond payment for the aquatic center, so that will be gone in fiscal year '27. So that's a huge weight off the shoulders after this budget here that we're working on here. And the city total debt in fiscal year 18-19 was 36.7 million was what the city had in indebtedness. And in this budget, it is 20.5 million. So that's pretty solid improvement. It's darn near went down $16 million over the last 7 or 8 years. So that's positive. The auditors did give us a strong financial standing last fiscal year when they gave their report. Of course, that was before they, saw that our health insurance was going way up and that we were going to get a lot of local option sales tax chargeback. So hopefully that stays the same when they come this year. As soon as we close out the year, they will start showing up to do their work. With all that said, what the council is proposing is an overall mill levy decrease from .04999 to .04756, which is a very small monetary increase of 60,000. I know there's probably some more change in here, but 60,200 is close. I know Kagan's PowerPoint's going to give you the exact number. I don't want to steal his thunder on that. He'll go over that more in depth there. And then it does include a very modest capital improvement request by the city general fund departments, 4x2 utility for the cemetery, a 72-inch deck mower for park, and then, of course, the police are asking for a new cruiser and a new code enforcement vehicle, as well as us being able to take some of that 60,000 that we were raising it to beef up our police salaries to help in recruitment. So that was what the council wanted, and that's what I think it will be a very good addition. There are some street projects, 11th Street from Hickory to Illinois, 12th Street from Hickory to Illinois, 9th Street, King Street from 9th to 10th, and Hickory Street from 10th to 12th. Hank has presented those in the budget workshops, and I think they're all on our 1 and 6 plan, so they were all identified projects by the council. And those projects will be paid for with local option sales tax, which is set aside for that purpose, or our highway allocation funds, which also a portion of that is supposed to be used for projects. So the only other thing I wanted to mention that we talked about quite significantly in the budget workshops, just so the public is aware that our cell in our landfill is getting near the end of its life. And so there was several discussions about how to move forward with that. And I think council is being prudent in moving quicker rather than later to get the design done for this and have it ready. We haven't got the numbers back yet, unless you have got them back from the flyover. I don't think we have yet. So as soon as we get that, we'll immediately share that with you guys so that you know what time frame we really are looking at. It seems like it's wavered anywhere between 1.5 to 4 years, but we've estimated it to be about 2 years. So, but I think sooner rather than later, going through this process was a smart move. So anyway, that's all I really wanted to mention, is just a few of the highlights that were talked about in the budget workshops, and I'll let Kagan do the more colorful part here.
Good evening, council. Kagan Carwin, Finance Director. Jumping into the budget. It's going to be a tough year, I think. Obviously, we have some things set out in front of us that obviously we'll have to overcome. When we look at total general budget and expenses, we're looking at $13,996,552 in general fund. When we jump down to the proprietary functions and the special revenues, including LB 840, we're looking at $24,254,366, and our debt service obviously being $2,048,533, coming in at a total expense at $40,299,451. So there was a little bit of an increase there in the expense side, and the main proportion that we talked about in our budget workshops was the increase with the grants side of things within the general. That's where you're seeing the largest portion of this increase, is if we are to get like the Safe Streets for All implementation grant. We'll obviously want to move forward with that and be able to expense and receive that money. So that's kind of why we're seeing that today. You will also see that increase in revenue as well. So when we break it down on a percentage level, general fund and electric are your two biggest points of expenses. And that's pretty common that we see year over year, that those two operate that way. So. Getting into revenues, the revenue side in the general fund, we're looking at $13,578,624. So, like I said, we did see a little bit of an increase, or like David said, we did see a little bit of an increase in property tax asking. We did shift some debt service numbers around to kind of help offset some things there as well, such as the pool. We won't take pool money on the taxpayer for the debt side this year, as we should get enough sales tax to generate those funds to pay that bond off where we sit financially today. So when we look at the non-general, we're looking at $17,791,486, with the debt service being $2,048,553. So leading to total revenues at $33,418,643. So again, the pie chart breaking it down, the general fund obviously the biggest portion, and electric generating the second there. So when we break down the revenues over expenses, this is kind of where things, get a little bit tricky, because we do budget some things in there that allow us to do projects or emergency clauses. This is something that's done every year. Nothing changes from year to year on that. So in this budget, we have $600,000 in the electric department, $200,000 in the water department. The electric department has a little bit of carryover just for the generation plant on some fuel surcharge that we might see, and some lingering debt that might end up rolling over into that. That will all be paid for with reserves. Nothing there. Wastewater is coming to the completion of their project. Again, that is paid for with ARPA and the equipment reserves. Same thing here, just a timing factor. We'll probably end up seeing some of that roll over unless we get bills here in the next couple of weeks. We'll probably see that roll over. So it's just kind of a timing thing as to whether or not it'll land this year or it lands next year. So with the street department, we do have some expansion planned and some renovation planned. So that's coming in at $4 million altogether, a little over $4 million altogether. So we'll be able to, renovate the streets accordingly. And then if the industrial park, as well as the Hickory Square project get pushed through, those are there in hopes that those opportunities will come and we can expand and renovate both of those. In the water department, we have a budget of $100,000 for a chlorinator. This is kind of just a placeholder. If we have the opportunity to go after one, in conversations with Joe, it sounds like it might be our best interest to go after it. So we've done some investments to kind of help offset this and benefit us a little bit to try to not have to raise a rate or look at different things, try to generate money with the money that we have, which is a slow process. The investment that we made this year had a return of about 12,000. So it definitely is an uphill climb, but I think for Water's best interest, it's good to have this in here. That way he can start moving forward with that project. And then in the general fund, with the state economic development incentives, the biggest one for us is the Nebraska Advantage Act. That's where we're taking the loss in our sales tax. This is budgeted at a negative $400,000 right now. So that act has sunset and is now the Imagine Nebraska Act. which I don't think the state plans on getting rid of anytime soon. So that will be something that businesses have the opportunity to work at a state level that could claim, our local option sales tax in the future. So something to be aware of that it can affect us. So. Again, just budgeted projects for this year. Obviously, we will be finishing up generation in the wastewater treatment facility. We do have the North Park that will move forward. Both of those, or I'm sorry, that one there has 2 grants that will help offset the estimated cost at a little over 1.5 on it. So we will have to take a little bit from the reserve side, but we have some of that money, slotted away for this project within it. So I think, obviously this will be a good project for the north side to be renovated for the north side kids and give things a good opportunity for them up there. So industrial park, like I said, we have 1.2 budgeted there. Again, there's been interest in the industrial park, and it just all depends on who wants to come in and take their shot at some LB 840 land and what we have to do to accommodate them there. So the Safe Streets for All, again, like we talked about, if we get this grant on the implementation side, it's going to be roughly $5.3 million. So could be an opportunity for us to do some great things there with the plan that's laid out, that we took, a lot of time in preparation with the public of putting together. So just one of those things that I think we, plan for moving forward if it can happen. Street renovations, like we said, we'll start renovating, 11th, 12th, Hickory, and King Streets this year. This is all paid for through the local option sales tax, as well as the state highway allocation funds that we've set aside for these projects going forward. So when we break it down into our property tax rate, right now we sit at a 0.475, which actually is a decrease, but yet is a $1 increase to the public of that 60,146, I think is what it is. Wrote it down back here. I think that's the total increase that we were talking about was 60,146. So, and like I said, you'll see that the bond indebtedness did drop a little bit, just because we shifted those funds from bond to the general side to try to help offset some deficit there. So, but we did see a decrease in the levy, but an increase in the asking dollar amount. So. When we get to the half cent, obviously this is where we start to see that deduction take place, so that $400,000. So went from a 185, which we are still on target to hit that, depending on where we finish out our year on in sales tax category. So, but next year with that decrease and that refund to the state, we're looking at a 164 for our estimated revenue on that half cent. And then when we look at the other half cent, we're looking at the projected sales or revenue down again. Those just go hand in hand, obviously, with just how they break out in our revenue line items. But with that 400,000, the LB 840 doesn't necessarily take such a hit. Mainly because we're able to pay that over a 12-month period. So we'll just see that hit on a monthly basis that they'll take that 400,000 from. So. And then again, with the half cent infrastructure side, again, we see that same decrease of that 100,000 for them as well. So. This is the property tax breakdown for year 2024. This is from our county assessor and what the taxing entities are actually taking with their levies. So when we look at this, there was $25 million throughout the entire county that was taken in property taxes, whereas we're sitting at that, for 24, we're sitting at a $2.4 million asking. So, and then we break that down into the dollar side. On your home, if your home was valued at $100,000 in 24, you would pay roughly 57 in property taxes. So out of that, total education is $1,256. And the city is taking 500 of the $2,257 on that. When we look at that $100 bill, that's just a percentage breakdown, and I do apologize, it's really small wording up there. Education is $59 of that taking on a percentage basis. Counties at 24%, cities at 10%, or $10 of the $100 bill. So definitely good to see that we're down below that, and I think we've definitely made strides to continue to find ways to reduce debt and manage budgets accordingly. So any questions?
I've had questions about, say, like the parks with the matching grants. With the matching grants is, if we get a grant for $600,000 and they said you have to have another $600,000 in there to get it, that includes another grant can be used against that, right?
In some cases, yes.
In this case, the
Yes.
CCCFF and the Game and Park will be a match to
Yep.
each other, yeah.
Okay, that's what I was trying to explain to some people, that we technically don't have to put that up. Somebody else, another grant, can put that money up for us. So,
Correct.
yeah. I think we also had a good discussion during our budget meetings on why we haven't started to put in the road out there, industrial park. I think some clarification to the people of Sydney, though, is that Joe pointed out that we don't want to just put in a water line across the road because we don't know what size we need. If we knew what we needed, we could go ahead and do it, and it'd look better out there, right? But we needed to wait for that because we don't have to come back in twice to do it again. So that's just a clarification for community. I think on that is a good thing. Thank you, Joe, for pointing that out to me.
Brett, you got questions?
I don't.
You need a motion?
And you get to
I
stay
don't
there.
think, no, we don't need a motion.
Thank you.
You're done.
Not quite. Next round.
We don't need a
Oh, yeah.
motion? We don't need a motion?
No.
No, the next
There's
meeting,
no
will-
action.
Next meeting is the
there'll be all the
hearing.
ordinances and all that at the next
So,
meeting.
Okay.
August 2025 budget report. Okay.
All right, August 2025. What? Oh,
I said, it's still you.
yeah. First, I want to thank our department heads for the job that they've done and the hard work that they've put in this year. I know we've come into a lot of meetings where we've talked about downs or, you know, the difficulties of this year. And you know, when we look at this month, I think they all deserve a pat on the back and a huge thank you for everything that they've done, not only within the city, but the work that they've done to manage their budgets financially and be, you know, conservative on taking care of our city, as well as, you know, the maintenance and all the frustrations that they have to go through. So I do want to thank them. Much appreciated to everything that they've done this year. So jumping into the general fund revenue breakdown, property tax DMV down 9.5 thousand from last year, 20.57. The obviously property tax pays out May and September, so could just be a fluctuation in timing. We'll see how that pays out here in September. The motor vehicle stuff was flat to up very slightly, but definitely a sign that people are still out there purchasing vehicles and doing what they need to do there for their personal households. Sales occupation tax was down 108.2K from last year, 40.3% negative. From last month, in a total, we were down, but we did receive a large chargeback from the state that we weren't aware or notified that was coming. So that kind of took a hit a little bit that we weren't prepared for. So we're still on track to hit the budgeted amount, but obviously we'll have to see how this month's come in. Right now, I do not see a large chargeback for the month of September, so definitely looking forward to seeing those numbers come in and see where they land, and hopefully they're in a positive fashion. So fees for service were up 3.1K from last year, or 4.07%. Golf, transportation, building, and animal control were all the reason for these positives. So kudos to those departments for putting together a good month. State, federal, and county was up 140.9 from last year, or 419.06. This is just a reimbursement for the Safe Streets for All design grant that we did. That's why we're seeing such a large tick there. Franchise admin fees, this was down 403,000 from last year. $403.33 from last year, or negative 6.4%. The main cause for this one is just a decline in telephone fees, which, I mean, we'll continue to watch and track how those are all managed. I know we've talked in the past on this one. Same thing with the TVs, you know. With the FCC, I think it was August of 24 when they passed a bill that would allow landlines to no longer be maintained. So that's probably why we're seeing some of this is a lot of these landlines are probably going to AP or IP based phones, which in turn, you know, we got to find out every single company that would be in the United States that would be operating under something like that. So we'll continue to watch this and see what changes we need to make, but right now it was pretty minor. In the other category, this was up $775.59 from last year, or a 16.4% increase. This is just interest that was returned in the banks. So
So on that 108, that's just like Nebraska Imagine Act hitting us with that?
that one would not be. That could be potentially somebody that filed something, you know, incorrectly and is, you know, filing an amendment to their sales tax. That one would not be, I don't believe, would be an Imagine Nebraska Act refund. So. And then on the year-to-date side, obviously everything's up accordingly except for the sales tax. So, like I said, we'll continue to watch it. We're trending very, very close to last year. So, like I said, we're on target to hit that budgeted amount. But it's something that obviously we're coming to the end of our fiscal year. So, with those numbers coming in here for the month, we'll determine where we land on that. So. Breaking it down, revenue over expenditures for the departments in August of 25, general fund was a positive $26,450.15. Street at a negative $41,359.27. Electric at a negative $1,358.02. Water up $126,880.96. Sewer was $109,830 positive, and landfill being positive at $90,250.57. You will see that same reflection onto the year-to-date numbers as well. Obviously, electric's down with the generation plant that we have, you know, planned for several years to expense and have worked through constantly. So those bills kind of have come due here this year. So that's why we're seeing that negative. But overall, everybody's positive, and that's why I think, you know, our superintendents have done a great job at managing this and putting us through a situation that was difficult in the beginning. But in the end, you know, what I'll call fourth quarter comeback has been great. So thank you all them. Are there any questions?
Okay. I always need help with this, and I'm sorry if you have to repeat yourself, but the franchise and admin portion, right? Now, again, the way that we structured this meeting, we did the budget review before we did this thing. And now I look at this and I go back to the budget review and I'm like, okay, so So help me explain again, the franchise and admin line, just for the general revenue breakdown for the year to date, how we're at 66% of budget, and then we're essentially using the same number that we did for fiscal '24 against fiscal fiscal '25 versus, fiscal '26 here. So just help me understand. Okay, so we're at
So-
66% of that number. Are we gonna magically get to 100%? Is it just, obviously, I think it's probably a good thing if
So
we
the
stay under.
franchise fees are paid out after we get our audited numbers back, and that is
Okay.
5% of their gross operating revenue.
Okay, and what's the timing of this again?
That would be roughly February, March timeframe. Just depends on when you guys approve the audited numbers is
Okay.
when I can come back and get it into AP.
Okay, got it.
So that's just kind of a timing thing, but that is a yearly thing on the franchise fees.
Okay,
Now with the admin fees, that's a portion of the proprietary functions paying for the work that's being done.
what's the split
On the-
between those two? Just roughly, you don't have to be exact. And you can come back to me on this is fine, but just.
On that, I guess I've never put that math together on what the split would be. That there's,
Okay,
obviously ways that we can calculate those admin fees differently. Obviously,
yeah,
franchise fees cannot, that's audited gross 5%.
Yeah.
That's an ordinance that we have in place, obviously no fluctuation
Right.
there, but it just depends on what the auditors give me
Yeah.
back for a number.
so, because, I'm just like, okay, we're budgeting this revenue.
And the admin fees, have not changed historically, so.
Okay, well, so if we're.
stayed where they're at.
Okay, so we're budgeting, just help me out here. So we're budgeting this much revenue. We're at 66% of that revenue. And as far as I know, there's not a path to get to 100% revenue on that. And then we're taking this revenue number that we budgeted for '25 and we're putting it against '26. Same number. Well,
So
$2,000
with
difference.
the admin fees, we have the opportunity to take 2 more
This year.
claims, yes.
Okay. Okay.
Will we need to take both of those? That I don't think so. With
Okay.
where we sit within the general fund right now, I do not think we need to take.
We
one.
don't need to.
But
Okay.
that will be determined by how our sales tax numbers come in, right? So
Okay.
So if we're still sitting fine,
Okay.
the auditors want us to
Yeah.
take those.
Well, it's just like as far as.
Those are paid on a quarterly basis.
Yeah, and I guess it doesn't matter what bucket they end up in. Like, if we have a revenue target, you know what I mean? Like, we should hit that target, right? So again, if I look at the total revenue here, again, is there a pathway for us to achieve 100% revenue for the year to date where we're at 73? And what are we at?
Yes, I would say
Okay.
yes. There is a pathway for us to
Okay.
reach that.
Okay,
Do we need to reach that is, I guess, the question that obviously.
Yeah. So do we,
Obviously,
yes.
that is setting up the general fund, right? Like,
Right.
that is revenue that the general fund should be claiming.
So do we need to? I guess that's the question. So are we operating so far underneath on the expenditure side of things that we just don't need to get there? Is that what you're kind of
That's-
saying?
yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, that's right now with where we sit year to date with the general fund being $745,000 positive. Where we sit today, I do not believe that we will need to take one of them.
Okay,
But if we have another, when we went into this, I think it was the month of July, was a negative $340,000 to the general fund in just that month.
yeah,
So when we look at that, there could be the, prospect of taking both of them. It just depends on where we come in at. We'll
Okay.
have to make that determination here very soon.
all right, fair. I understand. I think I understand this time. I hope I don't ask this
No, you're
question
good. You're good.
next time, but yeah, I think I got it.
You're good.
Any more questions? Do I have a motion to approve Kagan's budget report?
All motion.
Second.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Yes.
Lee. Oh, sorry.
Lee,
Yes.
Kirkman,
Yes.
Coons,
Yes.
Songbird.
Yes. August 2025 claims. I did them. They looked great, and they were nothing wrong with them. Do I have a motion?
A motion.
I'll second.
Lee and Ratcliffe.
Lee,
Yes.
Kirkman,
Yes.
Coons,
Yes.
Songbird,
Yes.
Redcliffe.
Yes.
Now on to city manager report.
Oh, do you do claims already? I didn't have much. I was going to talk about health insurance, but we already discussed that during the budget presentation. I did want to introduce the new library director. She's in the house tonight, Jamie Ridnor. And then also, there's actually two new employees. Kristen is here as well. So for those of you who haven't met her already, welcome. We're so happy that you're both here. And did you want to say anything? No?
Yeah.
So, welcome. You don't want to grill the new library director? Just kidding. She's already hitting the ground running, so it's awesome what she's doing. Both of them are. That's all I had.
Lori?
Nope.
Kendra? Sam? Hank?
Oh, you know me. We always have something. I want to welcome the new members from the library, for one thing. We do have one project that we're working on. It's the Lodgepole Dip, Lodgepole Road and El Rancho. Mr. Councilman Kirkland thanked us. He's getting compliments from the residents that live there. And we got some more project to do. My foreman Kyle's here, and he's on head of the project. He can give you the progress report when we'll be switching to the other side. If it wouldn't have rained, it would have been sooner, but we'll be out of there in a couple of weeks.
Excellent.
And other than that, nothing.
The birthday girl? You got anything? Nope. Kagan?
Tonight, you are sitting at 66 total views, and 25 of them are still with us, so.
Wow, that's really solid.
Marshall?
So Les Schwab, the tire shop, is saying that they've got to break ground in November. I've got a lot of calls from potential bidders, contractor bidders. You will see some work happening on the chamber building. Paint is supposed to be starting today, well, maybe yesterday. And John Thompson is working on replacing the front door and doing some concrete and some grading work. So you see people there, it's awesome.
Joe? Dean? Chase?
We got the net installed at the pickleball and tennis court there. We talked to some of the individuals that are playing pickleball there. They love the courts and thought that was a great idea to put that net in between there. So we have that up. Have a company this week coming to look at our pond. Had a lot of algae buildup, and our fountain is not doing the greatest either. So this company installed this fountain and also gives us products for the pond. So they're gonna come take a look at it and see what we need to do there. The Memorial Gardens has been under construction a lot this last week. They are putting a new roof on the gazebo and a new sprinkler system in, so they all privately funded that, so.
Jeremy?
Jimmy, welcome. Got to meet with you yesterday and some of your book ideas and stuff like that for how to sell those. Like on Amazon and stuff, great idea. Like that. One other thing, I know we discussed the electrical stuff last week, and I know that, or 2 weeks ago, and we had some ideas on the demand and stuff that I think we need to revisit to make sure we kind of get those things back in line to where, to work with customers of Sydney. So if there's a way we can schedule a workshop with that. I don't know if we can do the same time with the economic, it shouldn't take very long because we all kind of know what we were thinking on
There's
that.
like a second
So-
vote for that.
Other than the days that we proposed.
Can they do both those at the same time?
I think so,
I don't
just
know.
as
I
long
was
as you
just curious.
advertise it that way. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
perfect.
We can do it
Yeah,
sometime.
yeah, because I think we had some good ideas on trying to work with some numbers, and if we did need to do a meter increase on there to kind of help offset those costs, so if we can work on something with that.
At the very least, you're right, that language still needs to be cleaned
Yep,
up, like
cleaned up
the
in that.
warning notices and that kind of thing.
Yep, yep, that, we got rid of everything on that, so, other than that, that's it.
Nothing.
I don't have anything for you today.
Rob?
Just like to welcome the ladies from the library. That's all I've got.
I'd like to welcome the ladies from the library too, and that's it. We are going to enter closed session for the city clerk and city manager's evaluation and review of the city manager's contract terms.
Need a motion?
I need a motion to go in closed session.
So moved. Second.
Motion.
Uh,
And second.
Going in closed session at, oh wait,
We got to vote.
vote.
Kirkman?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Sondergaard?
Yes.